welcome back. And we're now going to be joined by Naazim Adam. He is with Palestine Solidarity Alliance, and he's here to talk to us about the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference on Palestine. It ended yesterday. It was held here at the Sandton Convention Center in Johannesburg. He was, of course, at the conference over the 3 days, and he's here to give us some feedback. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Always good to be with Salam Media.
Naazim, amazing speakers at the conference and wonderful breakaway session where they discussed developing strategies for action. And of course, the all-important issue regarding this conference is where to from here regarding the genocide in Palestine. What is your sense of the 3-day conference, and what are you hoping, not only the international delegates, but people here in South Africa as well? What are we hoping we're going to get out of the conference and moving forward regarding the situation? Because as far as the Israelis are concerned, they are absolutely hell-bent on destroying Palestine, raising it absolutely to the ground, and then possibly whatever their agenda is, then move in and implement their agenda.
Yeah, so I think like with all conferences, the work starts afterwards, and it will depend now on the steering committee and the volunteers and the delegates who had been part of that program and how we take this, the resolutions of this of the conference forward. I think it wasn't an easy conference because obviously we're having a conference in the midst of a genocide, and there are immediate and pressing issues that demands our attention, and we also recognize the need for a more strategic focused program that works very much like the anti-apartheid movement did in South Africa, in terms of a consistent, sustained effort for the liberation of Palestine in its entirety and the end of Zionism, which is a racist ideology that permeates every society, not just Palestine. So it's really a huge task and a big responsibility. And also noting that you have over 150 international delegates, in total close to 400 participants over the 3 days. Synergizing all of the thoughts, ideas, and putting together a program of action will take a few days. So we were unable to sort of put out a plan of action, and we took 2 steps back on that one to say, let's take all this wealth of information and experience and look at how we can build a proper program of action, which is as inclusive and as wide and as deep as it needs to be. The statement, I think, the declaration of the conference covers very much the gist of all of the discussions in all of the commissions and so forth, and it's pretty straightforward in terms of what the task on hand is about and what we need to do and what is it that the Palestinian people are facing, but also what other people across the globe are facing in Kashmir and Sudan and so forth. There was acknowledgement of that as well. Yeah, I think for the people that I spoke to afterwards, and we're still gathering some response, everyone was more pleased. There were obviously differences of opinion, but most people were pleased about the way forward for the global anti-apartheid movement on Palestine, and about bringing synergy and unity across the globe in all of our actions. So that's, yeah. By and large, so far, lots of positives, but we'll have to see how it grows out from there. And hopefully Allah will guide and take this thing forward so that it's meaningful. In terms of the speakers, Auntie Julie, fantastic. If anyone can go back, and I know it's on YouTube and Facebook and so forth. I mean, you had some really, really wonderful speakers, not just, I'm talking of like our own dignitaries and delegates, but there's people that are working in the space of solidarity, in the legal spaces. I mean, I've met some amazing people that really gave a new take on how we see things and how we take things forward. Revolutionary, positive, excellent. Lamise Deek's speech, and Lamise, is one of the leading legal figures, and she also heads our legal team on the Freedom Flotilla. Her input was great. There was a youngster I met there who just got out of Gaza, and his name, and he was just amazing, Fadi Quran. So try and just maybe pick up some of the comments from there. It will be great.
Naazim, when we're exposed on an ongoing basis regarding the genocide, and the situation seems to be getting worse rather than better. And amidst all of the horror that we see playing out, one does become very disillusioned. But by the same token, I also need to talk about our situation here in South Africa under apartheid rule. It wasn't anywhere near the atrocities we're seeing being played out in Palestine. But it also gives me hope, because if we in South Africa manage to overcome apartheid, the dark days of apartheid, it does say that that Palestine will also, inshallah, eventually overcome. Are you hopeful at all? And I know the next question, you probably respond by asking me how long is a piece of string. But are you hopeful that within a certain time frame we're going to see a shift by the Western powers, or the global North? Because I think if we are meant to see meaningful change, we need to see that shift by the global North to then add pressure and make a meaningful change as far as Palestine is concerned.
So I'm absolutely hopeful. I think, yes, we are saddened and we are hurt and we are angry. And I don't mind being angry at what we see unfolding in front of us. But it must not make us despondent. We must, and the Palestinians are teaching us this, Auntie Julie. They are liberating us. They are saying that Allah is near to them. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, every one of them, whenever you interview them. Allah is sufficient for me. So as a believer, I am hopeful. And the Palestinians have given me this hope. Because they are so firm in their faith and their belief and understanding of life and akhirat, that we don't come close to that. So I'm hopeful for that. I'm hopeful that also because I've seen shifts. I've seen shifts every day of this 7 months of massacre and genocide. The students walking out on their graduations, the encampments. This is hopeful for a new generation, and they will impact on the world. And I think there are shifts internationally. I've never seen America as isolated and humiliated as they were in the last few Security Council meetings. So there are administrative officials that are resigning from their positions. There are journalists who are challenging their editors and their sponsors. So there are huge shifts that are happening in the world as we speak. And what I took from the conference, one of the main things is we sometimes cap and limit what our demands are. We must ask for the total destruction of the Zionist ideology on this planet, because it is a wicked, evil one. And what we have seen is a major shift, is that Zionism is laid bare and naked for all to see its horror and its inhumanity. So for me, that is a positive. And I think that we are going to see shifts and changes. But ultimate victory is in Allah's hands, and we leave that to them. So that's the first thing. The second one, you're asking about South Africa. As I was listening and people were giving their inputs about our own history and struggle, I sometimes think that we romanticize our struggle too much. We assume that it was a great change that took place. It was a great victory. It was a great political victory. It was a great end to apartheid as a system of government and politics. But the reality is, and this was brought out by one of our delegates from Potch for Palestine, who lives in an informal settlement, who does not have running water, who does not have electricity, does not have a decent shelter, does not have work, does not have food. These people in South Africa identify more with the Palestinian people than we could. They live their existence here. And we also then have a responsibility to lift our game in South Africa, to lift people out of poverty and the harsh conditions in which they live here. So overcoming apartheid in South Africa is still a process, and we learn from this and take these lessons to Palestine. Right now, what we're saying is clearly, in Palestine, we want a ceasefire, we want the end to the war, we want charges, we want justice, and we want reparations for the injustices, not just from October 7th, but from 48, and even before that, when the British were doing their own nonsense in Palestine in terms of their occupation. You remember the first revolt was in 1936 against the British.
Okay, Naazim, we've got to go for an ad break. When we get back, we'll continue the discussion. Please stay with us.
Will do.
Non-profit organization striving to uplift the disadvantaged and empowering through education and dawah. Donate to the SADN centers, the M.A. Motala Islamic Center, as well as our Islamic centers in Amoti, Imtalumi, Botshabelo and Castile. Donate your zakat and lillah today. Contact Farooq Sheikh 076-321-0650, Yusuf Mohammadi 072-259-3457, or the SADN head office 031-304-8000. Our account, Standard Bank, account number 050-856-294 for your zakat, or 050-879-790 for your lillah. Dawah through education, education through dawah, the Southern Africa Dawah Network.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Maulana Timol will once again be taking a trip abroad for Qurbani. Many people in the villages live well below the poverty line and only eat meat on the days of Eid al-Adha. Support this cause at 2,030 Rand for 7 shares or 290 Rand per share. Contact Maulana Timol, Maulana Sajjad, Maulana Hamad or Maulana Abbad on 011-852-6324 or 082-368-6866 or 072-697-0131. All slaughtering will be supervised by a team of foreign and local ulama. Visit www.operationqurbani.org.za.
Searching for elite local and international investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Meyer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Meyer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors, as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Meyer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Meyer Group on 078-786-1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmeyer.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Meyer, where every detail matters.
The people of Palestine need your support now. Africa Muslims Agency is on the ground, already providing food, medication, and emergency supplies in Gaza. Donate any amount to Heal Palestine at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
We're wrapping up with Naazim Adams. He is with the Palestine Solidarity Alliance. He's giving us feedback on the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference on Palestine, which was held at the Sandton Convention Center over the past few days. So many more questions, Naazim, but we've run out of time. One very quick issue that I wonder if it was raised at all is I understand that certain senators in the United States have signed some form of declaration, or they want something, they tabled a matter regarding the IJC, probably, I think you know where I'm going with this, calling the Israeli ministers out for their atrocities and possibly charging them with crimes against humanity. They are opposing it, and they've got a whole host of signatures. Do you think anything will come out of that? Or are they once again playing God Almighty against the Palestinian and brown and black people of the world? Sorry for stuttering there, but I was just trying to get it into the right context.
Okay, so a group of senators published an open letter to the head of the ICC, Salman Khan, whatever his name is, I forget, the head of the ICC, because a number of cases have been brought before the International Criminal Court. Now, this is different to the International Court of Justice. The Criminal Court is what issues warrants of arrest and charges people for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and so forth. Remember, they're the ones that issued the arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin, and they put trade bans and flight bans on people and so forth. So there are a number of cases that are sitting at the ICC, and the ICC has not moved on it. And about a week ago, there was a strong sense that the ICC was going to issue arrest warrants for the Netanyahus of this world, so these American senators put this out, and they threatened not just the officials of the ICC, but also their families. So very gangster-like, and I think they've been challenged and condemned for that. I hope that the ICC doesn't buckle down and which from the pressure that they are getting, and that pretty soon we will be able to see that they do what they have been tasked to do. Unfortunately, and Julie, there's justice for two types of people. So you see this white privilege, untouchables, and the senators' audacity to do such a threatening, warning, mafia-style approach to politics. And when it comes to African leaders, the warrants get issued almost instantly. When it came to Vladimir Putin, it got instantly. Not that I hold any candle for any of those people, but that are dictators and oppressive. But then you must be consistent. Here you have genocide, people articulating and calling for the genocide that dehumanize people, call Palestinians animals, call for their total destruction, that destroy hospitals, that bury people alive, that bomb buildings with civilians inside of it. So where's the arrest warrant? So we have to put pressure on the ICC. We recognize that. I know our government's doing a lot of work. They have a case at the ICC. We've taken, as the PSA, many cases. The first Gaza docket was taken to the ICC. What will strengthen us is if the Palestinian Authority can also support the cases that are at the ICC. I think they also have a case, but they are like a little bit hesitant about pushing. They look where their bread is buttered. and then play that part. So there's a lot at play politically. All we're saying is that there must be consistency in international justice. What is good for one must be good for the other, and we want to see some action from that.
And I think the issue on the Palestinian Authority is something that we need to explore again in another interview, but that's all we have time for today. Thank you indeed for your insights. Always a pleasure talking with you. Go well, and Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, and we're going to be wrapping up with an interview. It's a short video clip, rather. And this is someone talking at the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference, and that is Yvonne Dubar, Namibia's Minister of Justice. Let's take a look at that video clip, and then we're going straight into the news with Zaid Jadwit.
All right, now continuing our coverage here at the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference, we're joined by none other than Yvonne Dubar, the Minister of Justice of Namibia. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so I think you were at the ICJ a few months ago. I think a good refresher then, why were you there? We were very proud to see an all-female team at the ICJ representing Namibia, as my colleague mentioned earlier on.
Yes.
Just a refresher of that, what that case was about. Why were you there? What were you doing there?
Thank you very much. I think for us as Namibia, it is important for two reasons. The first is the fact that the strong narrative and the case that South Africa made at the ICJ was about genocide. Namibia is known to have suffered the first genocide in the 20th century. So our connection to the South African case that was made in support of Palestine was because of our own history. The second was also Namibia, just like South Africa, has gone through apartheid. And we have made a commitment, already when we were calling for the decolonization of Africa, we made a commitment that we will not rest as Africa, as Namibia, until every country in the world is free from colonization. We understand now, of course, that the dynamics of colonization has mutated itself. It has changed, it has taken different forms, and so it was really a commitment for us to go and have our voice that we have shared on so many platforms over the years to be heard in the highest court of the United Nations, which is the International Criminal Court. So we understood that we needed to be in solidarity, not only with Palestine, but also with South Africa, because it was becoming slightly of a lonely space for South Africa not to have the kind of support